there Facebook, it is Vanessa here again, your speaker, trainer and coach from Live, Love, Give, and today I've got a message coming to you which is an important one along the curve of my journey and my growth, and I wanted to share it with you guys in hope that it also really resonates with you and maybe wakes you up to where this pattern or a similar pattern could be currently happening in your life or has been happening for a while. And my hope is that me sharing this with you will help you to fast track your success, break free of it, and start living more consciously. So again, I'm talking into the realm of relationships because this is the one that is absolutely on top of my mind right now. I can't even speak properly because I'm just so consumed by it, but I'm breaking through from it. So you're in the midst of everything that's going on for me, as always. And today's message is that sometimes it's less about running away from what you're too fearful to face and more about running towards what you're courageous enough to create. And this is super personal and really, really empowering for me. And I've only just made this discovery to this degree today. So I'm talking to you literally in the moment as I'm making these kind of discoveries, but I've recognized a new level of unhealthy dynamic and pattern that can come into play in my relationship dynamics. And I'm so grateful for every relationship that I've ever been in because they've all been leading me to a higher level of consciousness and evolution. And I couldn't be more grateful right now to be able to see where I've had fantasies and be humbled by them and come down to a place of gratitude and self-empowerment and taking away the responsibility and the reliant tendencies that I've had to have on another person. Sorry if I can't speak properly. I'm just like quite emotionally drained, but I'm doing really well on top of that. It's all a process. You know, whenever we come from a fantasy of how we think things should be and we get humbled to how they actually are, we can oftentimes feel quite emotionally drained as we're readjusting to what reality actually is. And trust me, empowerment is coming and it's on its way and energy is being restored, but you've got to get through this challenging low energy kind of part of the equation, which I hate to admit, I've been here a few times, so I know I'm talking truth right now. But ultimately, where this kind of comes from is because I have, like I just said, I've been trapped in a bit of a fantasy with my perception of a relationship, and this person I've been in connection with has also been in their own subjective fantasy, and our fantasies have been going this way. And I've gotten to a point right now where I can start to see what's been going on, and I've also been able to recognize and articulate the beliefs, the false beliefs, the disempowering beliefs that have kept me in a connection for kind of a bit too long, you know. And even if, I can see the value of me being in here for too long because it's created enough pain that builds my level of consciousness and makes me direct energy to make some changes. But at the same time, it's a wake-up call that I hope if I have it again in the future, it won't have to last so long and be so painful. But at the end of the day, one of the false beliefs that have kept me kind of stuck in this connection has been from my past, where I tended to have a tendency or a pattern of behavior that would want to run away when there was too much pain, particularly in intimate relationship, but I'm actually not talking about intimate relationship with this dynamic. It's actually been like a really close friendship and connection. But in particular, in intimate relationship, I had a tendency of just like wanting to like throw in the towel, and if it got too painful, and I had a perception on conflict that was, if we have conflict, then it's not meant to be. We shouldn't be here. It's not worth the effort. It should be easy, right? All that sort of stuff. And over time, I've been able to, through my deep dive and my study on love and relationship, particularly over the last 5, nearly 6 years, I've managed to get over that particular belief around conflict, and actually now I have a completely I've done a 180 on my belief around conflict, and now I know the health of it, and it's a must, it's a necessity for two individuals coming together. Of course there's going to be conflict. You're two different people with two different perceptions, and if you can open up to conflict and have a healthy mindset around it, it's going to work for you, not against you. But refer back to, when I had that belief and then I would run away. That would be my action, to just kind of run away from that challenge. And that's when, I had my partner at the time kind of say to me and judge me like, you're always running away. And then I learned from different sources that you don't want to have your finger on the button, in relationship. You want to be able to stick with it. And then through my own, growth around my concept around relationship, I had developed a belief that, relationships, and particularly your intimate relationship, are your greatest source and vehicle for growth, and that any challenge can be overcome. So coupled with my fear of being judged about running away, and my belief that, you should just stick through it and you can make it through any challenge, it would keep me in this pattern of not wanting to run away and fearing running away and trying always to navigate back to this fantasy of what I want the relationship to be. And it always leads me down to this place, right? This unenergized kind of place. And definitely it gets me to this place of disempowerment and seeking the permission from another person to let go of the connection and the relationship so as to set myself free, rather than me being more directive about what I want. Not fear if people are going to see me as running away, but in actual fact, get empowered, be directive, and decide what's healthy, what's not healthy, and, be the creator in my own life. And that's what I do, but I tend to have this period of time that can be very draining because I'm so still attached to the fantasy of what could be that I'm, not seeing what actually is and what will be. And coupled with not wanting to run away. So that's why today's message is all about, sometimes it's less about actually running away, and it's actually more about running towards what you're courageous enough to create. And why that second part is absolutely because, coupled with that pattern that I can see that disempowers me, there is also a disempowering pattern that I have seen time and time again over a multitude of different, two different relationships that I have had to kind of navigate this in more recent times. And it has been every time I have that next layer of growth towards my potential, something challenging happens right there. Like right when that next level of growth is going to happen, without a shadow of a doubt, without question, this challenge comes online. And what that really is the relationship kind of challenging me to come back down to this level. Because that's kind of threatening up on this level. And so, I'd try to kind of come back down and minimize myself to navigate that and keep connection, but it's preventing me from running towards what I'm courageous enough to create in my life. And at the end of the day, it's either on your way or in your way. And if it's not on your way, if it's actually in your way, I guarantee you it is absolutely simultaneously in the other person's way as well. And that's the most challenging part for me, because it's comfortable and there's, somebody to connect with, right? But at the end of the day, you have to be more future focused about not only what's healthy for you, but what's healthy for another person. And if you're somebody like me, who most of us, tend to worry and concern ourselves about hurting other people, and it can oftentimes keep us kind of minimizing ourselves and not being totally authentic and being best intentioned, but not, you're diminishing the connection and building resentment by not being all of who you are and speaking up about your truth and all that sort of stuff, and you're more so overvaluing the judgments, opinions, and criticisms of people external to you than your own value and voice within, then you can oftentimes get caught up in staying stuck in that relationship and not moving the needle forward. But I guarantee you, like I said, if you do the work and you can get clear on the disadvantages for you staying in that relationship and the advantages of you leaving that relationship, and also see the disadvantages to that other person for you to stay there, and also the advantages to that other person for you to move on from there. You know, I am a big believer that just because any relationship, no matter what type of relationship that is, doesn't stand the test of a lifetime, does absolutely not make it a failure. And I am forever grateful for every single relationship, best friend, friendships, intimate partners, business relationships, all of it. I'm so grateful for every single one of them. And when you can get to a place of gratitude for the time that you've had in that relationship, and you can leave it knowing full well that you've tried your best, but you've come down from a fantasy and you've come into reality, and you can see that a relationship or that connection is no longer serving you or that other person, because guaranteed it's simultaneous, then you'll be able to be courageous enough to not fear running away and actually start running towards what you're courageous enough to create in your life. Okay, so really hoping that this is resonating with you guys, and I hope it's meeting you as you need, and I hope that it gets you thinking about, moving in, stop worrying so much about hurting other people. And if you are worried about that, which I've definitely been worried about that, I challenge you to look at the disadvantages to that person for you staying where you are, and also the advantages for that person for leaving where you are. I guarantee that they're there. So when you set yourself free, you simultaneously set them free, and it might be painful in the moment, but I guarantee you it is going to be best for both of you in the long term. So think about it that way. I hope that this has helped you. It's definitely helped me kind of just talking it out, because it's been a major challenge that I'm navigating right now, but I really hope that it is good for you. And let me check in with you guys. Have you got any questions or comments or feedback for me? I'd love to hear from you, or just say hi. Let me know where in the world you're tuning in from. And I've got Sam. Of course I do. Why wouldn't I? I love it. And Gabrielle's in the house. And Huss is here. So great to see you guys. And Paul, hello to you. And Alex and Sanula. Awesome to see you guys. And Sam, so gorgeous and a blessing you are. Thank you, my friend. I always appreciate your kind words. And Terry's here. And Alexandria, yay. Charles and you are listening and honor your journey. Thank you so much, my friend. And you guys would be grateful to know I've tapped into Dr. Joe Dispenza's meditations, and whoa, I'll be bringing and updating way more to you guys. I know you guys are into him. So Samad is here as well, and I'm loving that this is an empowering message to you, Sam. Thank you, my friend. And Terry, hi, beautiful. Thanks for the inspiration and motivation. Always, Terry, and I so appreciate you showing up, and thank you so much for that feedback. And Maya is here, and Ronnie, and Alexandra, back to balance. Absolutely. Love the butterfly. And Sam, fantasies humbled to reality, great line. Absolutely. And that's a great, terminology that I've taken from the amazing work of Dr. John Demartini. It's so empowering to think about when we put people or relationships or circumstances or whatever it is on a pedestal, in a fantasy, or in a pit, in resentment. We're not actually in balance, and we're not actually seeing reality for all of what it is. And when you do see reality, you see both sides and you can be grateful. And that's just how it works. If you've got resentment, you're putting somebody into a pit. If you're trapped in attachment, you're putting somebody on a pedestal in that fantasy, and so we've got to relinquish that control and definitely regain our freedom. So absolutely. And oh gosh, yes, Huss, thanks for reminding me. Happy 4th of July to all of you Americans. I love it. Bit of freedom. Well, we're talking freedom today, so I love that. And thanks for shouting out to everybody, Huss. And hope you got to enjoy your self-care time. I did. Thank you for asking, Huss. I think I still need a tiny little bit more, but I'm on that journey. And Ray's here, and Lucy, I'm sending so much love and positive energy to your healing. So much love for you. I've been thinking about you, and definitely hope that you are on the up. Beautiful. And Esther's here as well, and Alexandra. Yes, you hold the key to your own fulfillment. So true. And Chris, listening with your girl. I love it. Great to have you guys here, and good to see you again. And Sam, that was my response to conflicts, running away, but personal growth has inspired and empowered me to show up to the task. Likewise, Sam, I love hearing that about your empowering journey as well. And Ali's here as well. And Sam, great revelation, being in the way for both parties. Absolutely. If it's not working for you, it is not working for the other person. But what tends to happen is there tends to be somebody being put on a pedestal, somebody put in a pit, and we just get caught in our own subjective worlds, and we don't get that. Even if somebody's really putting you on a pedestal, if it's not working for you, it's certainly not working for them. Even if they really want to be in relationship with you and connected to you, it's just an attachment. It's almost an addiction. It is an addiction. All right. It's not healthy. Health is gratitude, can see both sides, and makes a conscious choice to choose love and move away from things that are no longer serving. It's as simple as that. Is that simple? I don't know. Not really, but thanks, Sam. And Huss, interesting perspective, V. Thank you for sharing. Always, my friend. I'm grateful that it was interesting to you, got you thinking. And Stevie, thank you once again. Vanessa, you're always welcome, Stevie. Thank you so much for being here. And Mosen, happy day to you. And Sam, how did you shift this relationship from being in the way to on the way? You know what, for this particular relationship, I've had to make my relationship with myself on the way instead of being in the way. Because when we get trapped in unhealthy dynamics and we're doing it from a position of not wanting to rock the boat or hurt somebody, and we minimize ourselves so as to continue having that connection, we are simultaneously reinforcing to ourselves that our relationship with the self is in the way of that connection. So instead, any healthy dynamic with anybody in your life is absolutely going to acknowledge that your relationship with yourself is on the way, not in the way. But when we minimize ourselves to sustain a connection that is no longer serving, then we are making our relationship with self in the way. And we need to make an adjustment. So that's what I did. I regained, my relationship with myself is always going to be on the way. And that's what I had to reshift gears and get myself out of that unhealthy pattern. You guys are always hearing me talk about, it's like a car on dirt tracks. You run a certain pattern long enough, the car, it's just going to run that way. It's following the tracks. The tires are in the tracks. So at those different moments in time where you get an opportunity to make a change, it takes a lot of effort. You got to reroute. You got to try and create some new tracks and get out of the ditches that you've created here. And with this particular dynamic, I haven't had too much experience with it, it's only happened a handful of times in my life. So I haven't really built that muscle like I was talking about in yesterday's Facebook Live. And so it takes a lot more energy to kind of reroute and make that choice over to choosing my relationship with myself so that it can obviously be on the way. So hope that answered your question, Sam. And Alexandria, thank you for sharing your truth and insights, V. Sending you a huge hug. Thank you, my cheeky monkey. I love it. And Mosen, good luck to you with everything that you're choosing to do. Thank you, my friend. And Sam, I actually didn't get the massage yesterday. I went in there and then I was like, I don't know, it just didn't feel right or something. And then I just kind of went shopping, and that was kind of my therapy. So it was a bit of a afternoon off, and yeah, it was actually really fun. I just did whatever I wanted for a few hours, so it was good. And Alexandria, you are winning over the loud firecrackers and rockets going off here. I love it. Oh my gosh, so good. So good that you guys are celebrating, and I hope it's an amazing day for you guys on the 4th of July. It's the 5th over here. I'm over in the future. But I'd love to experience the 4th of July in the States one year. I'd love to do that. And Sam, always inspired and empowered by your incredible feedback. Thank you so much, superstar. Thank you so much, Sam. I'm grateful to hear that as always. And I so appreciate your questions, as you know. And Shelley and Linda have just joined. I really hope that you two get to catch the recording and get a ton of value from today's message. Really hope that it hits home for you, it empowers you, particularly around your relationship dynamics. But at the end of the day, it is shifting gears and knowing that sometimes it's less about running away from things that you don't want, that you're too fearful to face, and actually more about running towards what you're courageous enough to create in your life. Knowing that when we look backwards, we're preventing ourselves from moving forwards in the direction of our potential. So know what's a distraction, know what's on the way or in the way, build that conscious awareness, and, really learn the difference between what it feels like to be truly inspired from within, and when you're actually addicted to some external motivations or people that are kind of robbing you from your greatness, and they're not doing it, you're doing it because of your weakness and fears based on selling yourself short and minimizing yourself and not getting that clarity of vision and having the courage to go after it and remove the distractions and things that just aren't serving you. And know for absolute sure, if it does not serve you, it is not serving them. So cut the cord when you've given it enough goes and you really know that it's just repeating the same patterns and it's not moving you guys towards the next level of your potential. And have enough courage to maybe deal with the short-term pain of losing that person in your life, but know that you stand to gain so much more and free up a whole bunch of energy, and so do they. So sending you guys all of my love, light, blessings, gratitude, energy, enthusiasm. Didn't know where I was going to go there for a minute. To wherever you are in the world today, I hope it's beautiful, amazing, and extraordinary. I hope you Americans are really bringing in the 4th of July and having a ball and celebrating your freedom and independence and all that great stuff, just as this message is kind of weirdly all about freedom and independence. So I love that. And last little comments from Kuwa, hello to you, and Matthew's just joined, and Shelley, love to you, can't wait to watch later from the beginning. Awesome. And let me know if you have any questions or comments, any of it. I love that, Shelley, thank you so much. And I'm signing off. I'm sending you my love, and I cannot wait to see you tomorrow.